Hi guys, Daz here with haul number 4 and a brief recap of Saturday's Comic Con in Leamington Spa. The brief part of it is it wasn't very good. The books on offer were pretty pants, in fact. There were only 3 vendors there, so it was literally get in and get what you can, because people were swarming these tables. There were basically no Silver Age there at all. Very little bronze, a lot of modern, and a lot of 90s garbage. So I set off on my own on Saturday. My daughter was meant to be coming with me, but I just want to give her a shout out because she's just been accepted to do her first Comic Con, sell some of her original work, prints, badges, stickers, etc. And that's in August. So a shout out to Cryptic Wolf, my daughter. So now she's saving all her pennies to get into the supplies. So that's an exciting time for her. And for me, actually. We'll all be going down to support her. Should be a fun day. So hence I was on my own. It's about an hour and a 15-minute drive, and I headed on down. I remember 2 years ago, the last time I was there weren't a lot of comics then. So I wasn't expecting much. And that didn't disappoint me on that front because, like I said, very poor. But the main reason I was going was to meet a couple of the legends of the industry. John Wagner, who did various books, Detective Comics, Judge Dredd. He was there promoting one of his new books, Rock of the Roys or something like that. I wasn't there for those books. I took a couple of books for him to sign myself, and I got in early while there was nobody there. So this is Detective Comics 585 that I had him sign. You can just make out there. That's the first appearance of the Ratcatcher. So that was a book he signed for me. A couple of other books I took. A couple of Judge Dredds. Legends of the Law books. Again, you can see his signatures there. I only took 4 books for him to sign. And the interesting thing was this one. This is Detective Comics 594. Oh! Brainiac's down. Oh, this is dodgy. He's going to have to sit. Right. As you can see, oh, sorry about the glare. It's got his name on the top of the book there. You can barely make it out, but it says John Wagner on the top. So I took him to sign it, and surprisingly he said, sorry, I can't sign that one. I had nothing to do with that one. That's a bit unusual, I thought. Was I getting shafted? Could he not be bothered to pick up the pen again? Could be on the lazy side of things, but I tend to agree with him. He's probably not had anything to do with that. So 3 books I got signed for him. I noticed Al Ewing there, but I thought I'd have a look at the comics, what was there. Basically, Al Ewing saved this Comic-Con adventure. I picked up a few books, I think 16 books in total. I took quite a bit of money to spend, and I spent less than £20, so that says it all. But I upgraded a few books, and picked up 1 or 2 half-about books. Like I say, I think I probably had the pick of them. This is an upgrade. This is from Image and Valiant. And the interesting thing is that this book is actually shown in the DC Encyclopedia. And this is an upgrade of Deathmate Black. And this is the first appearance of Caitlin Fairchild. And also, and more importantly, the first full appearance of Gen 13 team. We got several second appearances. But that was a minty book. Probably pushing a 9.8, I would have thought. Oh, they're all falling. These were my sponsors of the day, but I guess I wasn't paying them enough. Captain Atom and Brainiac. If you can see in the background, the man who inspired me to get into comic books, Green Arrow, he's having a look. He's watching the show. Okay, so on we go. And this is the first appearance. Again, minty. This is the first appearance of Natasha Irons. And this is Steel 1, number 1. Again, another character who's made several appearances. I think she was pretty predominant in the New 52 run. You know, with the weekly comic series that came out, 1 to 52. This is a Reign of Tomorrow tie-in. Like I say, Natasha Irons is quite a, well, I'd say she's a C-list character in DC. Is she the niece of Steel? Could be. I thought this was a good purchase until I opened it. But this is World's Finest. And this is World's Finest number 200. 15 center for a quid. I thought, oh, happy days. And it presents really well. And then I opened it. And it's got a detached cover. It's not attached at all. But, yeah, still... I like those issues where you go for either 100, 200, 300. For a quid, I suppose you can't moan, can you? Next pick, he had a good run of Superboy there. You know, I've got several of the Superboys already, but these were minty, and I couldn't really say no because there were several upgrades. And one book I was happy to find that I hadn't previously. I thought I did have it. And this is Superboy 0. Sorry about the glare. And this is the cameo of King Shark. Nanu, I think is the real name. And this is, like I say, Superboy 0. And obviously King Shark appeared in Flash and the Supergirl of the Arrowverse. And like I say, a minty book. I think it was that King Shark was originally supposed to be in the Suicide Squad movie, but probably too big for the budget, so they roped in Killer Croc instead. But he couldn't save the film either, really, could he? Then we go on to Superboy number 1. And this is the first appearance of Knockout. This is an upgrade for me. And also the first appearance of Sidearm. And Inspector Maku. Like anybody cares about that. But again, minty. These Superboy books are all probably pushing 9.8 easily. Sharp corners. And this was the one I was happy to find. Let's just see if I can make this a little bit better. And this is Superboy 9. And this is the first full appearance of King Shark. Like I say, he appeared in the Arrowverse. But that's his first full appearance. And that's the money book of the series, really. If there is such a thing. He's not going for a great deal. On a good day, probably $15 to $20. My most expensive purchase of the day. And it's not a big one either. I think I noticed this on the CBSI forum when they listed the top 25 Rebirth titles. That's making money, basically. And this was one of them. I think this was number 2. I had number 1. Now, number 1 was obviously Teen Titans 12, the first Batman Who Laughs. This was number 2 on the list. I picked this up for £3.50, and this is Superman number 10. Kind of snuck this by them because they were asking crazy money for various books in this con as well. The war books they had weren't good ones. Like I say, this is the first appearance of the Super Sons. And this is a Gleason and Mick Gray cover. Apparently these characters are taken off quite a bit, Super Sons. I think they've just had their own series cancelled though. But they got plans for them, apparently. Well, like I say, back to the war books, and they weren't great. Now, when I first got there, I noticed they had a New Mutants 98, and my eyes lit up when I saw the price of £100. And I thought, am I going to pull the trigger? Because like I said, I've never paid more than about, well, I know, my £43.50. And that was for Incredible Hulk 102. So I thought, am I going to pull the trigger? And I walked up and there it was. Of course, there was a big price sticker stuck, not on the back, but on the actual comic. On the M, I think, of New Mutants. Now, I've removed stickers previous with hairdryer. But if you're paying that sort of money, you can't have any sort of marks or blemishes on it, can you? I mean, I owned an ad. I was going to offer him 80 quid. So I thought, you know, but I remember seeing this book on this vendor store 2 years ago, and it was still there. So was it a good price for the condition? It's going to have, I take that sticker off, it's going to have a blemish. I leave it on, it looks pretty ugly. I know they're mass produced, but I've never really seen them. Very rare that I actually see a New Mutants 98. I would love one. I'm still hunting. I thought it was a good opportunity with the second movie coming out, but I passed on it. The only other really good key book was on another store, and they were asking £300, maybe a little overpriced. I mean, I think I've seen them at £250. It was Batman Adventures 12, first Harlequin. Obviously, I didn't have that kind of dollar on me. I mean, 150 maybe I'd have pushed, but not that price. But again, it's probably a decent price. I don't think you can get much lower than that. They were saying that they sell around 260, and I thought, well, why are you selling it for 300 then? You know, because I can't imagine the tables were that expensive. Okay, moving on to a few Marvel books. They had a splatter and a bronze at £1 each. They weren't in great condition. There were slim pickings there, guys. There really was. In my haste, I thought this was Avengers 31. Pence copy. Of course it wasn't. You know, one of the rare mistakes I do. And this was actually Marvel Super Action 31. So that's going straight into the for sale pile. Not worthy of my collection. This was a cool book because I'm a big American football fan, even over here in the UK. Been a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Boo, you're probably thinking, since 1984. So, like I say, I love NFL. And this was NFL #1 Super Pro. Pretty cool. An American footballer teaming up with Spider-Man. I've seen it on other people's videos. Again, it's pretty minty. Yeah, £1. Welcome to the collection. Pretty good find this for £1. Anytime I find early bronze issues of certain runs, I'll pick them up for £1 or less. My second Man-Thing comic, Man-Thing number 13. Man-Thing number 13. And like I say, it's mid-grade. But it's got the Marvel stamp. Number 54, Shauna, the She-Devil. Couple of Daredevil books I picked up. Let's try this side, any better? There's Green Arrow. He's feeling left out a little bit. That's Daredevil, and that is issue number 113. Just a cool cover, in pretty good nick. Bit of the Gladiator on the front there. It's a Pence copy, unfortunately, because, like I say, they have no good books there. But this includes the Marvel value stamp of number 85 of Lilith. Okay. This is Daredevil 124. Pretty ratty copy. There's a reason I picked this up. I grade it at about 2.5. It's got quite a bit of spine roll. The percent's okay, I suppose. But this is the first appearance of a character called Blake Towers. Blake Towers, you say? Who's he? Well, he was in the Daredevil TV series and the Luke Cage TV series. He was a detective. So look, keep an eye out if you're into like your Marvel shows. First appearance of Blake Towers. It's also the first appearance and origin of Copperhead. And the first appearance of Who, otherwise known as the Worldwide Habitual Offenders. And again, a Pence copy. But like I say, anytime I find cheap Marvel Netflix shows characters, I'm all over it. And my final pickup, like I say, of a disappointing con was Spectacular Spider-Man number 147. Again, a minty book. And this is the first appearance of the Demogoblin, who is a demonic entity. Goes for a few dollars online. That's as good as it got, guys. So like I say, not ideal. A few upgrades there. But they are minty books. But like I say, it was Al Ewing that saved the show for me. Now, I didn't understand. There was a lot of, independence there. People trying to make their mark in the comic world, which I've got no problem with at all. It's just not for me. But their tables were pretty swarmed all day long. There was Al Ewing for a lot of long periods of the day, just sat there, nobody there. When I did see it, it was the odd person going up, one signature here, one signature there. That's not how I roll. So, unbelievable. Is this a world record? I took 27 books for him to sign. 27! And he signed the whole lot. My entire Avengers No Surrender storyline. Including this one. This is the money book. There he goes. He does them all Al Ewing 18, because that's obviously the year. And I couldn't speak highly enough of this guy. We had quite a chat. 27 books. That's incredible, isn't it? I felt cheeky, but go for it. May never meet him again. Also got him to sign. So that my entire Avengers run he signed. Also got him to sign a Loki book. My only Loki book. That's a Secret Wars tie-in. Also got him to sign the Ultimates number 1. Doink. And my US Avengers number 1. Which isn't a bad read, actually. I also managed to grab some photographs with Al and John Wagner. They'll be posted in the link below. And like I said, Al was a great guy to talk with. I said to him, what's your next big project out? And he said, Immortal Hulk. Well, I think most of us know that. And he's currently actually written 5 of the issues. He hopes to get the 6th one completed this week. I asked him how long does it take him to kind of like get an issue out, and he said it's dependent. A couple of days on some of the No Surrenders. Don't know what that says for the storyline, but I enjoy it. But then a more complex book like Deadpool would take up to maybe 2 weeks. So like I say, it was literally the guests Al Ewing and John Wagner that saved the day for me. Came away with quite a bit of money in my pocket, so I had a little venture out yesterday into Bristol. I picked up a couple of books there, nothing major, but a few good minor keys, and I'll try and get that up a bit later on today. So that's the Leamington Comic Con update, and that's goodbye from me. That's goodbye from Green Arrow. Dazzie, over and out.